Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the Frontline Changes Report for the past 24 hours. Some major frontline change, however, all is all Russian advances in the past 24 hours. We have frontline changes over in Kalinina, over in the Bakhmut front, Toretsk in the New York front, Mykolaiivka, Krasnaya, Krytia over in the Pokrovsk Front, Hirnyk in the Donetsk front, Vuhledar and Vuhledar. So we're going to go into Kalinina first. Over in the Bakhmut front, so this is Bakhmut, as you can probably see. And at the Kalinina region, the Russian forces has been geolocated in a new position on the western part of Kalinina across the canal, which means that the Russians have made some slight progress around this area here. So, but there's a small change. So that's all for this Kalinina region. Does not necessarily mean that they have captured Kalinina yet, despite that we have already declared this because previously we thought that this is Kalinina. Apparently there's another lake here. So anyway, after Kalinina, the next frontline change is over at Toretsk. So over at the Toretsk, there is frontline changes. This is just slide one. We first reported this during the situation report. Russian forces geolocated, invalidating some of the Ukrainian claims. So the Russian mapping already claimed this area to be under Russian control. So there's just some slight change. After Toretsk, we have frontline changes over the Pokrovsk Front at the Mykolaiivka region. So this comes as a trio, as you can see. So this is Minograd and Horodivka. So this is Novohorodivka. So over this area here, Russian forces has made great advances around here, with Russian forces capturing more than half of Mykolaiivka, more than half of Krasnaya, as well as almost the entirety of Krytia. So this means that this trio of settlement is going to be close to capture by the Russian forces. Ukrainian forces still hold half of Krasnaya, so it is and half of Mykolaiivka. So there is still some fight left, but the situation is looking not very good. But there's a lot of forests, so Ukrainians, if they choose to defend, will be able to hold the line for quite some time. So, but there is some major advances over in this sector of the Pokrovsk front. So as the Russians going to continue to build up a strong foundation for an attack towards Minograd. And we're going to move further south. There is updates as well over in Hirnyk. This is the northern part of the Donetsk front, or just off the Pokrovsk front. Russian forces have been geolocated to enter Hirnyk for the first time in this conflict. And so this is this attack coming from the north, and it enters into the northeast of Hirnyk. So the battle of Hirnyk now begins, and we shall see how these continue to develop. Hirnyk is pretty important because this is the anchor city, along with Khodakivka, for the control of the entire of the Nevelsky salient. So we shall continue to monitor the situation around in this sector. The next frontline change, we jump all the way to the Vuhledar region. So, as you know, the Battle of Vuhledar have begun, and the latest Ukrainian mapping have suggest the Russians have basically taken everything north of Pokrovsk right now. They have now closed the Noose around Vuhledar. So the Russians have already entered from the east, but there is no guarantee that they are still there, because that footage only showed 2 soldiers entering Vuhledar. So, but on the western flank, the Russian forces have taken all of the open grounds, including some of these heavy entrenchments that is protecting the western flank of Vuhledar. So this is a massive update, as this means that fire control is now established on the roads, at least one of the roads. There's 2 roads here, 2 major roads, and the distance between the front line now and the roads is merely 1 kilometer, around 1 kilometer. So for an armored vehicle, this is already in range, so should be fire control, because this is firm control. We are not considering the gray zone. So if you consider the gray zone, then the Russian forces could potentially have units outside of this confirmed captured region and provide fire control over the roads. Similar situation is over in the northeast of Vuhledar as well. The Russian forces could have positions in these areas putting fire control also on the other road. So Vuhledar is now in a near operational encirclement, and there is still rumors talking about the Russians have control over half of Vuhledar. Most likely aren't the case. The latest footage that came out from Vuhledar, I saw on Twitter, was the use of this, this artillery launched fire attack, which is like the, I forgot what is it called. It looks like fireworks. It rains down this beautiful sparkling firework thingy that causes fire. They rain it down in Vuhledar. This is the first time I've seen this weapon since 1.5 years. I thought that this weapon has been retired, and also apparently they are still in use. So they have just launched it all over Vuhledar, creating a very spectacular scene. But of course, those are those are flash burning flames. So it looks pretty, but it's actually pretty scary. But that's the current situation. The Russians are still shelling Vuhledar. I think the intention is to force them out, force the Ukrainians out of Vuhledar. But tentatively, this doesn't seem to have been working just yet. The certain Ukrainian troops are probably still inside, or that could be the case where there's actually no Ukrainian troops inside Vuhledar, and the Russians are just shelling a very empty city because they do not know that there's no one inside. That's also a possibility. So anyway, that's it. So this is the Frontline Changes Report for the past 24 hours. Do press the like button, subscribe, then check out the sit rep if you want to get into the entire situation, what is currently the situation over in Ukraine. The sit rep is over here, and I'll see you guys in the next update.